Are these buttons? Oh, get out of here, they are. Oh, these sound really good too. Let's take a look at the Polygon 7. So this is from DR Works. I don't know who else is vendoring this actually. I just know that DR Works is going to be vendoring this. It is a very interesting looking keyboard. It's a interesting design. We'll take a look at it. We'll open it. It's going to start at what I believe is about $110. And it has some, I'd say, like interesting design choices for the price. Some PCB options, which is great. 5 different colors, which you have some basics like spray coated white, blue, gray, silver, and green. But we'll see. We'll see how this turns out today. I don't know what exactly they sent me. I just know I got the silver version. So no hard shell case right off the bat here. For 110 bucks, am I upset about that though? Probably not. I think this is the one big appeals about this. And I gotta say this about Daring Run. They have been doing interesting layouts at pretty good price points. I like this already. Are these buttons? Oh, get out of here, they are. Oh, these sound really good too. Okay, yeah, again, they've been doing crazy fun layouts. Let's see, what's in here? Yeah, they've been doing great layouts for pretty decent prices, and I gotta give it to them. Like, I really do have to hand it to them. Interesting. So it's a ball catch system with the typical stuff you'd find inside the ball catch over here. Some gaskets on some separate daughter board, well, PCBs rather. And it looks like, I'm not too sure why there's 2 pogo pins here, but I guess we'll figure that out. Wow, interesting. I think this is what makes the board really nice, is this bottom design here. I can't peel this off. This is so embarrassing. Come on, please. Okay, I got it. Okay, this is nice. I mean, maybe the only thing I don't love is like the logo, like the brand name being here, but I can live with that. This is really cool. Let's see this from the side here. This is really pretty. Really interesting bottom. Really, really interesting. And then for a side profile, I'd say this is pretty, I mean, it's pretty nice. It has some character to it. Definitely a little different. A bit more on the aggressive side for side profiles, which I'm here for. These 2 buttons are neat as well, and then you got some macros you can put in a 65% layout. I would consider this more of like a, sort of like a 65 XT though, or something. I don't know if I would consider this just a 65 at this point. I think it's a little bit bigger than that. The silver's nice on this though. So they sent a lot of stuff, and again, you'll have the option to pick what you want. By the way, they did send out this stuff, so this is a sponsored stream. They're probably most likely letting me keep it, and then we'll eventually give it away. But technically, because we're keeping it now, it is a sponsored stream. Just wanted to keep it transparent with you guys. This is a soldered PCB, which we'll probably use today. They sent all the plates in here. This is a hot swap PCB, foam, and a 1.2 mil PCB. So at least I have some options. So what we got for a PCB here. I'm still curious why it has 2 pogo pins. I'm not sure. I guess we'll open this up later and figure out maybe why there's 2 pogo pins underneath this. Solderable PCB has pretty standard fare run of options here. We got ISO as well, split left, split backspace, tons of options here. So pretty solid choice for this. It looks like you can go plateless as well, because it looks like there's mounting points on the PCB. What just dropped? I'm not going to use the hot swap one today, but I definitely just want to see what options the hot swap one has. We have the same options. So there's no loss of options with this at all. Hot swap seems to be the same as the solderable unit, and it looks like, yeah, no loss of options, which is fantastic. We love to see that. Absolutely none. It is using Kale hot swap sockets if you guys are interested. Okay, that makes me happy seeing that. And then for switches today, these KeyGeek LM switches. I am incredibly excited to try these particular switches out. So I was fooling around with these for the last few days. These are nice. They're nice sounding switches. And I'm hoping this board sounds good so we can show off these switches too. But I think this is gonna be really nice. Very, very excited to try these. But all right, I guess let's start our journey of building up this keyboard. And we'll need 1, 2, 3, 4 stabs. Let me get some stabilizers too. Again, a little close up on the weight here. Look at this. Look how pretty this is. Objectively, I think this is one of the prettiest weights I've seen in a long time. I really like this. It just adds so much to the board. Yeah, like I agree. Their design language is really, really fun. This is also really cool. Again, if you guys want to hear this, what this sounds like, these little buttons. Very cool. We can open this up more to explore, but a lot of neat features. Release date, I believe, is now next. I believe it's probably coming out first week of February. Probably, for the in-stock sale. As for the group buy, or if they're going to do pre-orders, I have no idea. But it's supposed to be an in-stock sale. These are KeyGeek LM switches. I was genuinely curious how these would sound, and my curiosity has got the best of me right now. Even some cool notes here. I like what they did. They put some silicone bumpers over here, and I'm assuming this is to help with the pressure of clicking this tiny little button so it doesn't just bottom out or short anything. Little pieces of foam that are adhered to this part as well to, again, help with some of the impact on the macro columns here. Very neat. I like that a lot. Here is some of the internals for that button as well. You guys can kind of see it better. So it has like a ring of foam, and then you're just pressing down on these. Looks like also another piece of foam there. So for those bottom buttons. This keyboard is disgustingly good value. The solder is flowing really nice on these contact pads, so I can tell this is a pretty nice PCB for that. Maybe the most non-cohesive thing about the board is I kind of wish these also had an easier way to just drop them in and mount them, but I feel like this is the least used area of the board in terms of like what you'd be building. So I'm not super upset at that, but I do want to kind of check out what's underneath here if you guys are also interested. Yeah, or some way to put them, like screw them in. I don't think I give a shit that these are like mounted nicely or sound weird. I feel like these are just there, you know, and I wouldn't mind if it didn't sound bad, if it meant easier building experience. Although this is not very difficult. It's a ribbon cable, and it's pretty easy to use ribbon cable at that as well. Oh yeah, okay. So what's underneath this? Whoa. All right, what do we got inside here? Interesting. So we have the two batteries. So again, 2,000 milliamps each. So I don't know if there's some sort of like limitation on transfers or something, or I don't know. But it does look like we have one pogo pin. Give me back this. For this, and one pogo pin for this. A left and a right, because they do have L and R labeled on this. Interesting. This is a very trippy looking daughter board here. It is quite large. We have the ribbon cables going into the daughter boards, or I guess the other PCBs, the macros. And then we have the PCB, the daughter board itself with the USB-C connection that also plug into the battery. But then we have these which kind of float. And how do these float? Okay, so these are just really just using this ribbon cable over here as some sort of floating device. Well, not really a floating device, but you guys understand what I'm saying. So interesting, very cool, very neat way they did this. Obviously, this is extremely proprietary. This is not universal. I mean, to be expected. Never seen anything like this before, which is neat. And then this bottom cover doesn't really have anything going on to it. It's pretty standard fare. Also part of the bottom here, so it's I guess there's a separate weight that goes underneath here. So this is 1, 2, 3 pieces plus a weight, which is, again, for $110 to start, pretty damn good, because these are the screws for the weight underneath. And the weight does seem pretty hefty. So pretty nice here. Pretty decent value, I'd say, so far with this board. This caps out at, it looks like, I mean, I don't know how many extras you want to buy, but if you were to just include all the plates for yourself, probably $149, I believe, if my math is mathing correctly. If you decide to get the hot swap PCB. $140 for hot swap, I think, with all 3 plates. Okay, so I was about right. Ish. But how many screws to get into the bottom of this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws to get into the bottom. And I guess we'll start off with gaskets. And then we'll move on to top mount. I have a feeling I'm really going to like the top mount on this one. Personal preference, I have a bit of a bias towards plastic plate top mount. I think plastic plate top mount is amazing. In terms of where we have our mounting points, it seems like we have them in really good areas. I'm also going to call out this small little thing here too, where at least on the PCB mount, the tabs have a relief in the center, albeit it's not like the most giant gap for these, but it should also provide enough of a relief to make the mounting style not feel super stiff against the PCB. So kind of cuts out, you know, a total vibrational space. I don't know the right word to put this, but pretty nice. Good design there. All right, and this just sits nicely. It is using these kind of little nipples on the bottom to help align it. along the bottom of the case. I mean, that's the board. Like, now we're gonna just pop this on and we should be good to go. Did it close okay? Yeah, we're good. So, build experience, even with soldering, I mean, we did take off the bottom here, which you're probably not gonna do. Pretty solid. I thought this keycap set was fun and I've been meaning to use it, I just haven't used it. This is from Unikeys. No, I don't think we're gonna use a red escape. I think that one red key looks fine for this and I don't want anything else. I do like the way this looks. This turned out really cool. What a good looking board. Dude, I love relegionables. That's actually one of the things with Key Kobo I love, is a lot of them come with relegionables. If this is a banger at this price point with these macro columns. Keygeek LM switches with a PP plate. We're using the gasket mounts. We did solder this. There's no foam in this at all. Let's see what this sounds like in using Key Kobo keycaps. It has a little bit of a plasticky spacebar. I guarantee you it's because of the Key Kobo. But I would say otherwise pretty full. Let me try swapping out for a GMK spacebar. I don't think it sounds foamy, but let me type in it a bit more after I swap out this. I maybe liked the Key Kobo a bit more on this. Yeah, I kind of like the Key Kobo more. Oddly enough, I think it kind of suited these particular switches. So let me switch back to the Key Kobo one. Yeah, a bit sharper with the Key Kobo. Very comfortable to type on, by the way. Extremely comfortable with this. I feel like this with aluminum, I think with aluminum, this would get you the sharper sound profiles that we normally go for. We are going to do this in top mount too, by the way, so don't think we're not. Mods all sound super solid. With plateless, I feel like this would be even deeper. This sounds great. I'm happy with this. Very, very happy with this. And now, let's try top mount. You know, I think the sound profile is pretty clean for what it's worth. There was no inconsistencies. I didn't feel any hot spots underneath the pogo pins. Pretty nice sound profile. Of course, it's Daring Run. I really like their design philosophy. Yeah, they do some great work, I gotta admit. Daring Run has been doing some excellent stuff. For $100, not exactly 100. There's also shipping, and there's also taxes, and there's also, you know, let's just say with shipping, maybe 170, 160. I don't know how much shipping's gonna be. You know, be realistic, but yeah, it retails for starting at 110. I'm not sure what this is really meant for. These like spacers, whatever these are, let's just get rid of them. It's a top gasket. The clear inserts go on the top. They're not really sitting very nicely. This feels like a polycarbonate material. All right, well, I will say maybe this is the one thing I'm not a big fan of this board. These don't sit very nicely. They're kind of getting stuck. Maybe I just have a bad batch, but I can't push them in, although I guess I have to really force them in, huh? Maybe this is my only real gripe with this keyboard. If I were them, I would put some sort of gasket pre-installed that compresses and absorbs some vibration already installed here. Or shorter screws. Yeah, something like that. Bit of a weird oddity here. I feel like this is kind of a... Is it a big deal at the end of the day? No, it just doesn't really like... I guess it's not cohesive with the rest of the design here, I suppose. Let's see what this sounds like now in top mount. I actually like this way more. I had a feeling I'd like the top mount with the polypropylene plate. Like the spacebar seems more mellowed out. It's not as sharp and plasticky sounding, which also may be a byproduct of the silicone gaskets. The mods I feel like may have actually been better with the gaskets. Yeah, I will say there's a smidge of plasticiness. I can't, maybe that's due to the PP plate here. Maybe it's absorbing more of the sound profile. Could also be a bit of the switch as well. But you know what, like, again, if you were to swap this to the aluminum or even just build this plateless, like, this is nice. I think this is a winner, man. I think if you end up wanting this board and want to pick this up, this is easily something I could recommend. Easily. Yeah, 100. I mean, actually, I don't know. Let's plug this in and figure out what these buttons even do by default here. It's labeled as a plus and a minus, so I have a weird feeling this is for volume. Let's see what this does. I actually don't know what this does. Oh, it's like page up and page down. That's what it's doing. Page up and page down. I'm assuming, oh, home and end. That's what these are bound to. Home and end. I'm assuming you can bind these to other things, but let's measure the front lip. We're also going to weigh it because this is rather hefty. 18.2. We'll just say, yeah, we'll say 18.2. 18.1-ish. I also want to say I really, really like this contouring on the side here. 3.1 pounds. And how much is this in kilograms? 1.67. Unique layout, good price point. For an extra $20, if you don't want to go with the solderable PCB, kind of have to go with the plates then. So it's either going to be $110 for solderable plateless or $140 for 3 plates and a hot swap PCB. Either way, I think if you decide to go the plateless route, which could be a lot of fun, I think you're going to have a good time with this board. Thanks for being here again, guys. Talk to you very soon. Love you. Bye-bye.